What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Marathon Mondays with Mal. I was just out looking at 1194. They're doing a water test. The reason they're doing a water test is they're finding a leak in the slide seal. And the heavenly hands of Rob Angelo are coming out to take another look as you see him walking right behind me. All right, that's 1194. Really cool to see that because one of the things that they do to detect leaks is a water test. So basically, you pull a coach into the wash bay, and then it rains on top. We've got a whole system up top where the water drips down, and you can leave it on for a couple of minutes or longer, up to 20 to 30 minutes to try and find leaks in the coach or to make sure a coach is leak-proof or has no leaks. Very cool. I love the fact that we do that because even after you get a new slide seal in your coach, it's important to test those to make sure there's no leaks. Okay, what are we doing this morning? I'm going to tell you. We're going to take a look at an H and an X and the bays and what is inside those bays because both of them are custom. And we're going to take a look at the slide outs because when you do a custom coach, you can customize your slide outs. Right behind me, custom coach, 1362. And then 1366 and X3 is behind this one. Both of these coaches, 66 has about 2 weeks left, 62 a little bit longer, a couple weeks after that. So we're going to take a look, though, what's inside the bays, because customizing the bays is something that is really important to the owner of the coaches. Let's go over this way, John. Stick with us, you guys. We also have a few other things. We had a little bit of technical difficulties getting started. Sometimes Facebook likes to do their updates, apparently, on Monday mornings. And so if you're not updated, you're not updated. Take a look at this. 1362's Bay 1 and Bay 2. This is on the curb side or the passenger side, if you will. We also call it the patio side because this is where your patio is going to be. Power slide outs, dual. They only come out on this side, and as you can see, the cabinetry is covered with this protective tape right here, but slide outs on top and bottom. Really cool because you can organize everything that you're packing up for your trip or everything that you have in your coach. These are also lined with automotive carpet, so it's really a good way of finishing off. But Marathon does a very good job of customizing this scenario right here. And if you look right here in Bay 2 here, you've got, this is a TV that comes out. I'm not going to open this up because I don't want to mess with what the guys are working on the other side of this bay. But you can see here another power slide out for Bay 2. But that's really cool. Another thing that sticks out to me that I was talking with Steve Lopez down here on the floor about is the door. And I want to show you what's going on with the door of 1362 because it really stands out as far as craftsmanship. Take a look at the door. Now this is what is underneath the leather wrap. When you see a finished coach, this entire door panel is leather wrapped, right? Okay. This is what it looks like when it's not wrapped, and they've got it all fitted up here to make sure that everything fits properly. John's going to get a close-up. Isn't that great, you guys? A lot of work goes into that, and that really stood out this morning because what we used to do, this used to be plastic. This right here is a strong but lightweight wood that is installed here on the door, and it's going to be all wrapped in leather, and hopefully we can show you later on when that's finished what that looks like. But I really wanted you to see how much work goes into that door, and you see this is like a beveled edge. It adds really a pretty detail to this door, and the leather is going to be wrapped tight around here, and it's going to have a really nice look. It just really stood out, and I wanted you guys to see it too. Hope everyone had a good weekend. John and I, John behind the camera there, we were talking about the Coburg Antique Show. It's kind of an annual thing that goes on out here, I don't know, maybe a mile just up the street from our plant. But it's a big thing that they do every year here. People come from all over the Pacific Northwest and maybe a little bit further for this big antique show, and that was fun. Another thing that stood out on Friday, I was down here watching them detail the backside of 1362. So I wanted to highlight that before we looked at the bays of an X3, a custom X3. Look at this paint job. You guys know me, I'm fully transparent. It's not my favorite paint job, but look at how much work goes in to this. There is a lot of detail. There is a lot of really beautiful work going on in there. Now, it's not my favorite, but I admire all of the work that went in by our paint team. And I'm going to point out a few things that stand out about this paint job that I really like. John, get a close up if you can. They're still working on cutting and buffing this area, but that red, and it probably doesn't show as vibrant as it could on camera, but the texturing on that red is just beautiful. Also, when you get to the top, you've got the lines that cross around. It kind of looks like, someone mentioned kind of an Eddie Van Halen feel to it, but it's just so cool. I do love the colors though. Maybe I do like this, huh? I'm talking a lot about it, right, John?
That's right.
Too cool. Ink splots, I love it. All right, speaking of cool paint jobs, arguably one of the best paint jobs we've done is right behind John, and that's the Eagle Coach of 1366. And of course, we're gonna do a whole reveal show on this one when it gets done, but I know a lot of people have been asking about it. But today we're gonna show you the bays. So we've already looked at the bays of a custom H3 on 1362. 1366 bays are a little bit different. Now remember, in an H, the bays are taller. They've got more landscape between the two, right? That's the right term or the wrong term. But this has a more low profile manual slide out. These are slide masters, dual slide masters in bay 1 and one big slide master in bay 2. Now, on the other side of bay 2 is the generator. That was my pause for effect. So this is a smaller from a length, but it's got some good width to it. That's really cool. But the slide masters are low profile, which allows the customer to have more room, because in an X, the bays are not as tall, right? So they've got this scenario where the slide outs are more low profile. I mean, literally that's, I don't know, is that 3 inches, 3.5? I'm not sure. Do we have a tape? Do you have a tape measure? I don't see one. All right, good. We'll call it 3 inches. Boom. Video math. I can dig it. So there you go. Slide masters in the X. They're manual, and they're manual because the mechanism that makes power slide outs, like we saw in that H, take up more space. In this, you want more space for your storage, so automatically it's standard or kind of desired to go with the manual slide outs. Very cool. Let's move to the other side of 66. I want to show you what our guys came up with for the little giant ladder. Okay, driver's side, bay 1. Take a look at that. The little giant has its own little compartment under an area right here. Now this is a static area, it does not move, but this is a really nice sturdy area for non-spillage storage. What I mean by that is it's kind of like, it's got a lip of about 2 inches tall, perfect for toolbox, okay? A toolbox or anything else you're gonna set in here is not gonna move. Also, underneath here, you've got your storage for your little giant. That becomes very important. These little giant ladders made by Velocity take up zero space compared to, or I say zero, takes up very little space compared to your traditional ladder. So that's really cool. And like I mentioned on the other side, the reason that bay 2 on the curb side has a smaller from a depth standpoint, slide out, is because the generator is on the other side of Bay 2 when it comes to the driver's side. Isn't that pretty? I mean, PowerTech 20 kW, one of the largest generators you're going to see in an RV. It's definitely the largest in the industry. When it comes to a Prevost conversion, we put 20 kW generators in every marathon. That's important. All right. Since we're over here, John, let's show the plumbing bay. So, a beautiful coach and a well-built coach should have a well-engineered and a beautiful plumbing bay. This is it right here. You got these manual shutoffs for your water, cold and hot. You got a Crestron tablet right here. You can check basically the things that you need to check from this side of the coach. Your tank levels, your batteries, all that. But also, you can manipulate your awnings from that little Crestron tablet. So if you wanted to be over here and manually watch, you've got it. You know, it's just, I talk about this several times, you know, a year when it comes to these shows, these Marathon Monday shows. Our engineering, it's well thought out, and we're constantly evolving because we're listening to the customers. We've got about 2 weeks until delivery. This guy's going to audit today. 1366 in about a half hour is going to roll out of here, and it's going to go on a long test drive. We do about 3 test drives throughout production, but when it comes to audit, they do a long one. They take it down to an area about 65 miles from here and 65 miles back. The audit team drives, sits, listens, takes notes. That's really important from not just from a standpoint of, is everything working while we're driving? Is everything working properly? But think of the sounds, the listening to the coach. Is it built correctly? Are there things that need to be tweaked, changed? Because in a 45-foot coach, a lot of moving parts. And so we want to make sure that it is as quiet as it needs to be. A marathon coach should be the quietest RV on the road. So you get inside and you listen as you drive, and you listen for rattles and shakes and squeaks. Very cool. Let's go inside. Since we're here, John, we might as well go inside. Okay. I love the cabinetry in here. Also, it really flows with I'm only going to show you a couple things in here this morning because when everything is done, we're going to do a reveal show of 1366. However, the cabinetry and the flooring and everything goes well together. And here's one thing I want to point out this morning. I love the choice of doing this type of blind in the salon also. Roman shades are pretty standard in bedrooms, but look at how the Roman shades go with the styles and the valances in this coach. Here's another really cool thing. Usually you see a backlit scenario when it comes to styles and valances, right? Look at this. It's going to be so cool when you see everything revealed and taken off. Also, this is a computer desk. Very cool. That's all. I don't want to show too much, you guys, this morning until we get a chance to really reveal 1366.
We have some questions.
Yeah, let's head outside, John, and knock out some questions. All right, you guys. Abigail's got some questions she's going to throw to us.
Our friend Ron DeMario says, how many miles does a coach have when a new coach is being delivered? I know it has to travel from Canada to Oregon.
Yeah, that's a good question. And something we've covered before on the show that you guys know, we drive these guys all the way, when it's a shell, we drive these guys all the way from Quebec, Canada. That's over 3,000 miles. If it's a quad, it's got to go from Quebec over to Vancouver, BC, and add a couple of slides, and then down to Oregon. So, you know, we're talking over 3,000 miles just by default because we don't flatbed these chassis down here. So when a coach is delivered, and then we take it on test drives to make sure the coach is built properly. It's gonna have under 4,000 miles, around 3,400, 33, 35, give or take, whatever. But it's just when you're talking a chassis, a 1,000,000-mile chassis, if maintained properly, it's just a scratch. So it's not a big deal to drive it all the way from Quebec. It's actually a good shakedown of the chassis before we build the house on it. So good question from Ronnie D. Anything else going on?
Yeah, Steven asks, what is the fuel tank size?
So fuel tank size, it depends on the X or the H. I don't know it off the top of my head, I gotta be honest with you. I know that it costs a grip to put some fuel all up in these guys. So I think we were talking with Dave Bash about doing a fuel up show on the how-tos because there's a few things you want to do also with the DEF fuel on the other side of the coach. So that's the driver's side. So that's something coming to you guys soon. Yeah, maybe they did move it. But anyway.
Well, people want to see Dave.
People want to see Dave. Dave's a busy guy. Isn't that from a movie? Dave's not here. Dave's not here. You win a prize if you can tell me what movie that's from. I'm blanking right now. Okay. Anything else?
Not necessarily. I mean, I can't remember off the top of my head, someone said, ooh, shiny.
Yeah, very shiny.
Oh.
These are beautiful coaches, you guys.
I think I got one.
It's really cool to be able to see an almost finished H right next to an almost finished X. Both custom coaches. Marathon's pumping out amazing coaches. I think you see in these paint jobs. Don't look at me. Look at this paint job. Look at this. Look at that. In between these two, you see these great paint jobs. We're doing really fantastic work here at Marathon in Coburg. So that's about it for this Monday. If you are looking to get into a coach, reach out to me, MalW, M-A-L-W at marathoncoach.com. There's actually a gentleman this morning that I'm going to meet with in about half hour about consigning his coach. If you have a coach, if you're a coach owner and you're looking to sell your coach, one of the best ways to do it is consign it with Marathon. Your coach was most likely, unless it was built before 94, it was built in this building. So it's the one of the best places to sell it is out of this building. So the other thing I want to tell you is we got a lot of things coming up and a lot of really cool content to bring you. I'm going to be profiling. There's Dave. Dave, come on down here.
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
I love being live. So we're gonna. I've got one question for Dave while we're here.
Dave.
But here's the thing. We've got a lot of things going on, and one of the things that's really busy right now is our marketing team. And I'm going to be profiling our marketing team when it comes to thank you, Abigail. When it comes to showing you what's going on. Dave, quick question. We had a question earlier, and my policy is if I don't know the answer, I know who I can ask.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly. That's so accurate. No, we got it. Tell me about the tank capacity of H.
tank?
Yep, of H versus X. What's kind of standard?
Well, standard on an H is 235 gallons.
Okay.
On an X, the standard is 208. There is an option for a 268-gallon tank on an X3.
Wow.
But you have to order that from the factory
Gotcha.
before we even get the shell.
So that would be a custom coach, a custom marathon. Okay.
Yeah.
So give that to us one more time. On the H, it's
235 gallons.
235, and on the X?
On the X is 208.
208. Gotcha. 235 and 208. Yeah. I'll remember that for the next 10 seconds. Yeah. Thank you, Dave.
That's why I'm here. I'm here for you, Mal.
It's that part of the brain that you don't have.
That's right. A few minutes ago, we were talking about the how-to videos that you and John have been working on.
Okay.
And, part of the thing is fueling up and DEF fuel. That's probably something that would be, a neat video to do is driving into a truck stop with Dave Bash and what are the proper procedures of not only fueling up, but safety when you are fueling up and making sure that everything is done correctly, because we don't want to put the wrong fuel in the wrong tank. Don't say it. I haven't done it. For the record, I haven't done it.
But one of our other guys has.
That's right. So
we won't say who.
That's right. It can be a costly scenario, but just pay attention to what you're doing when you're fueling up, right?
Yep.
I like it. What else you got planned for the day?
I'm doing a PDI, and I'm also tech support for the day.
Okay, you're doing tech support. That's great. That's
So what you're saying is people can call in and talk to you.
one of the benefits.
I didn't put it that way.
One of the benefits, you guys, of owning a marathon is the tech support system that we have between the 3 locations of Marathon. And Dave is one of the guys that really supports that tech support team between himself and Terry and Jeff and a few other guys. It's a huge commodity to owning a marathon, to have the tech support team. When you need tech support, they're on the phone, or they're there. They can, if they don't know that answer, they can research it quickly. But that's a big benefit. So big thanks to Dave Bash and the guys on the production floor for letting us roam around and eavesdrop on their conversations. Guys like Steve Lopez. Oh, hey, Steve.
Thank you.
But anyway, be yourself and do good things. Have a good weekend, or a good week, good weekend. Oh man, I'm out of here for the week, right? No,
Wow.
I'm just kidding. So for the co-host Dave Bash, thanks, and have a good weekend, right? A good
Right.
weekend?
Weekend?
Is this Friday?
Is this your weekend?
Oh, no,
It's Marathon Mondays. You hear the bell?
Ron has a question for Dave, though.
Ron has a question for Dave.
I'm sorry.
Stick with us. This is brilliant. Go ahead.
Dave, give any feedback to the improvements to be made to the engineering department or the design team?
So if you didn't hear that question, Abigail just threw us a question. If Dave does a lot with the customers, that's one of his primary things that he does for Marathon, not just from a job, what he does here, but it's like one of the biggest benefits of being an owner is getting to spend time with Dave and learning your coach and going through even the driver's experience. And Ron's question was, does Dave give feedback to engineering or upper management about the things that he's seen on the coach?
Every chance I get. Absolutely.
And I've seen it happen, and that's one of the things. He's kind of the eyes and ears of a delivery. So at the end of production, Dave Bash does a delivery. And one of the things that he gets to do is give the feedback to the production team, to engineering, to design, and all the way up to our upper management about how that delivery went and things that didn't go so well. Because quite frankly, in a 45-foot bus, there are some things that don't go correct.
There are a lot of things that
That's right.
don't go correct.
And so we want to correct those things.
And my best advice to engineers is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, one more question.
One more, sorry. Jay Nicholas says, how old of marathon coaches do you do tech support for?
That's a really good question. All the way back.
All the way.
There you go.
All the way back.
Marathon.
Any marathon.
Dave, you've been with Marathon over 20 years, and you've been on tech support a long time. What's the oldest coach that you have troubleshot, helped someone with, PDI'd? I mean, this company goes back to 1983 historically. Mm-hmm. So from the top of your head, what is the oldest coach that you have been involved with in your 20 years?
The numbers that I remember are 123, 101.
Mid-80s.
We've right now in service, we got Coach 195.
Yeah,
and so
yes, that's right. 195 is here. That's right. I forgot that.
And so, yeah, whatever marathon you got. I mean, the older ones were simpler as far as operations, and so as whatever coach you got, on the older coaches, it's hard to find drawings in our archive of drawings, but we'll do the biggest thing we've got, the best asset we have is Terry in service.
Yes.
If there's any electrical questions I don't have the answer to, he's the one I go to, because he's been here over 30 years, for most of the time that Marathon has been in business. And he built a lot of those older coaches, and a lot of time was part of the engineering team that built those coaches. So he's the best asset we have that I know of.
That's fantastic.
And then Jeff does a good job too with that.
I hate to bother you. People saw Dave, and now people have questions. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Dave.
Steven said, do you use AquaHot for heating or something better?
We use the same thing as AquaHot. We use, on older coaches, it's a Webasto. On the newer coaches, it's called an S-Bar. Basically, it's the same exact thing. It's a
Diesel heating, right?
Diesel furnace that heats up coolant and circulates it throughout the coach, or the water heater. And so the AquaHot is a big stainless steel box that takes up a whole bay in a coach, with the water manifold, the water heater, and the furnace itself. But the S-Bar on the newer coaches, like right here, it's a separate furnace that heats up other elements throughout the coach. It's basically separates scattered throughout the coach, but it does the exact same thing as an AquaHot.
That's awesome. And another thing that really stands out, I mean, you're going to be doing the delivery on this coach, but I love seeing, and this one. I love seeing the 100-foot reel in here for the pressure washer and the install of the actual pressure washer wand right there. It's very, very good. Something that we've worked on. I see Vern walking behind us there. I know he's getting ready for that test drive on 66. They're headed on the long one today. So thank you so much for sticking with us on this. Thank you to Abigail for throwing those questions at us. And above all, thanks to Dave for letting me grab him as he was.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, big thank you, Dave. Like I said, Marathon Mondays is so great because it's transparent and we have all the resources and support of people like yourself. And so thank you, Dave, for taking the time. Be yourself and do good things. I'm going to get out of here for the week. I couldn't have said that any faster. Sound like a tobacco auctioneer.
Don't challenge yourself.
No. I'm going to be faster next week. Take care, you guys. Be good.